Hi, welcome back to Ridgehaven Homestead, off-grid living and more. Today we have so much sun and it's definitely feeling like a spring day. I'm really glad about that. And I am going to embark on a journey through the woods. I decided that this would be the day, and I really don't know if I'm gonna find what I'm looking for exactly, but I'm really hoping. I was out in the woods last week and I did notice that there are some lady slippers starting to come out, but none of them were in full bloom yet. And so it's been a few days and I think that at least I'll maybe see one, and I'll probably see some in various stages. I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed. But while I was doing laundry, I noticed that it seemed like maybe the washer cut off because we were possibly out of water. So I'm checking the hill. I just turned the solar pump on and I am hiking up the hill. My heart is thumping because this is quite a hill. And as I walk by here, let's just take a peek at the flaming azalea. This is a native to our area, to the Appalachian Mountains and our region. This one is kind of a pale color. These range in size from, not in size, they do range in size, but they range in color from this pale yellowish cantaloupe color to a deep orangey red, and they are beautiful. They're all beautiful. This one actually is, it's actually a collection of a bunch of little bitty ones because we had a tree that was cut down here a year or two ago, and I was sad that the tree seemed to land on the flaming azalea, but it made a lot of babies, so all was not lost. We have sassafras trees blooming and dogwoods down in the woods. Our dogwoods are very skinny and spindly because they don't get that much sunshine. So as soon as I make my trek up the hill to check the tank, I am going down there because that, I know in the past, has had a lot of lady slippers, but that's not the biggest area. Apparently I'm a wimp today because my heart's going thump, thump, thump. Okay, so wait a minute. We have a completely full tank. So full that it's overflowing. I don't know if you can see this wet ground trickling down, but the tank is completely overflowing. So I gotta turn it off. It's really full. A while back, if we left the tank, see how that's overflowing? For a long time here, through the winter especially, if we would leave the tank on through the night, in the morning we'd have to go turn the water pump off. I didn't say that, I think I said tank, but I meant water pump. We'd have to turn it off in the morning to kind of reboot it. But here recently, we don't have to do that. It seems like it's always, if you leave it on all night, of course it shuts off during the night because it's a solar pump, but then in the morning it turns on again, so we have to kind of watch, which is interesting because we've gotten in the habit of being a little bit lazy, kind of saying, well, it's not going to be pumping because it didn't pump all night. And I mean, logically you would think it would just pump when the sun was coming up. Like, yeah, that's the normal thing to think if it's a solar pump, but it wasn't working like that, and so we would just leave it on and not worry about it over pumping. But now it seems to be operating differently, so down to shut it off and then into the woods. I'm here in our blueberry patch, and it looks like this year we might actually get some. Every other year we have had a early-ish or late freeze, depending on the timing of the blossoms, and the blossoms fall off. This year they seem to be doing pretty well. These are the pink lemonade, which is a very lemonade-y pink flavored blueberry, pink in color, and they're looking pretty good. We have more blueberries on the hill, not nearly as many as we used to have, but I'm hoping for a crop this year to be able to do some stuff with it rather than just eat a few here and there. Okay, solar pump is going off. We don't need it pumping since the tank is overflowing. Now I have my choice. I have several areas that I can go looking for lady slippers. I was going to hit it from the top of the hill and go down. I don't know which is harder, hiking up and then going down through the woods. I think I'm going to go down by the house and go back there. And on another day, I will go on this side, because on this hill down there, oh my goodness, that's where the most of the lady slippers that we found around our property are. But I know there's some up this other hill too. So I'm going to check here first, because I saw one last week that was getting pretty close to being fully mature. And if it's out there and ready, it's going to be beautiful. Okay, behind our cabin and up the hill is where we're headed. Past the propane tanks, up into the forest. And it's pretty dense up there. We're gonna walk from sunshine to shadows. And it's a good thing I have my hiking tromping boots on. They're my mud boots. Okay, I'm navigating this place because there are lots of brambles to try to get around here. I don't like to get poked much. It already got me. Maybe we should trim them at some point. That would be an idea, wouldn't it? At first I thought I was on a wild goose chase, but I have just spotted the first one. I had to come quite a ways up the hill. We're leaving the cabin quite a bit behind. It's hard to get perspective as I walk up this hill. But this is kind of the area where we have seen lady slippers in the past. And I think we're in for a treat because I've spotted a little bit of pink here. Whew. It's just hard to navigate. Okay. I'm looking into the sun, so it's hard to tell what we can see. I don't know what you're going to be able to see right away. I'm going to pan out, and you look and see. And I'm finding it's kind of like playing Where's Waldo, because it's very hard to see in the picture. So we have to go closer. And closer we shall go. Okay, right behind me, we have our first one. And I will tell you that this one is not fully there yet. It's getting pink. It's pretty, but it's not as pretty as it's going to be. And I will do I'll zoom in on this one and splice that in, but I'm going to show you the one that is in its glory, because you'll be able to tell the difference. Just a little ways behind this one, oh, I've lost it, is the one that I saw earlier last week sometime, and it was looking about like that. Do you see it behind me? The pink lady slipper. It's so beautiful, and the bugs are so bad. I'll try to get a little bit closer. Here she is, the lovely lady of the forest. My favorite spring wildflower. Probably my favorite wildflower ever. So this one is in its glory, and I will say that one thing, my camera doesn't seem to want to focus on it, and another thing, as it ages, it will even get a little bit darker than it is now. Don't ask me why they say it looks like a slipper, because to me it looks like something different, but that is what it's called. Here we go. I find that when I clean my camera lenses, things tend to look a little bit more crisp. I'll tell you what, you'll have to pardon my crazy hair, but I had to throw it up on top of my head. It is feeling way too much like the rainforest in here. Oh, it's so hot. I don't know the temperature today. It feels hot. And I have been to the rainforest, and I'm sure it's more muggy, but wow. Ooh. Oh no, I see something here, and oh, this is terrible. Okay, let me focus my camera. So behind me, I have a lady slipper, and something has come and chopped it right off. That was very rude. I don't know what enemies it has. So that one's not gonna make a flower. These plants only have one shot. One flower per year. So it is kind of a big deal to come out and find them. The sounds of the forest, generally it's wind, birds, but today one of the sounds of the forest is Chuck. He's very put out that I have come up the hill without him. It's not really without him, he just didn't catch up. But now he's starting to catch up, and he's been calling me from up the hill. Come on, Chucky, come on. Of course, because he's a cat, he's not gonna, act like he's in a big hurry. He's gonna pretend like he's got all the time in the world to do whatever he wishes. Generally, once I've seen a couple lady slippers on this hill, I start to see more. And so I have faith that that's what's gonna happen. I left those two behind. They're a little bit beyond. And if I wanna see the lady slippers, I have to actually get my exercise. So that's kind of a good thing. It motivates me to get out here and take a look around. It is a gorgeous day. We kind of go from, oh, it's cold, I need a blanket, to, oh my goodness, it is so hot. And today it's at the ladder. Here's a patch of some. Okay, so I found a patch, but only one is blooming, but maybe the other ones will bloom out soon. Here we are, a patch of lady slippers. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and I see one over here on its side getting mushed by the twig. I don't know if it's gonna make it or not. So this one's kind of pretty, but it's pretty small, about maybe 7 inches tall. This one over here, pardon the leaves, is just getting going. So it's very pale, and it will deepen in color as it gets more mature. We've got 2 here, and to me it kind of looks like one will have a flower and one is kind of iffy. And then I overlooked this one because it was hiding under a leaf, but that one, I don't know, just 2 leaves as far as I can tell. It just seems like some of them don't make flowers every single year. And I don't honestly know if that means that some of them are females and some are males. Oh, Chucky came. He's bumping the camera. Chuck. You made it, Chucky. Chucky the Explorer. What do you think about the lady slippers? Chucky, you got a word for us? No comment. And as most boys, he doesn't care one whit about flowers. Well, Charlie, or Chuck, made it up here to me. I hear another cat in the woods. I also hear the beeping of a bus backing up. Okay, over here behind me, we have 2 more. A little bitty one that's about to open, and another one over here that also will open within the week, I'm sure. And I can't tell which other cat is coming to find me, but there's one calling. These cats could never sneak up on anybody because they call the whole time. Here I come. Up we go, up we go, up we go. And here's another one. See, I've already lost count of how many we've seen so far. So this one is also like a little dewdrop with a white-ish, yellowish green thingamajig, whatever you want to call it, but sack. I see one up there. I'm already getting tired. I see two up there, but I'm catching my breath. Actually, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 5 in a row, all small, not completely blooming yet. See, I told you, once you start finding a few, you start finding more. That's the fun part. It's like a mystery. Oh, I see something else. Let's go see what else we see besides lady slippers. It's not only lady slippers. Gotta be careful not to step on the ones I've already shown you. And I'm keeping my eyes out because I probably missed a lot of things. Here we have a little, whatever you call these, I forgot, irises. Dwarf bearded irises, or dwarf irises. Okay, it's the dwarf crested iris. Get that out there. If I stop talking and think, I can, think of things. So those are pretty native plants to our area. I rarely get out to this part of our property because it is hard to walk. It's best in the winter. It's hard in the summer. In the spring, it's like your last chance, and that will be now. I see a fun little plant, and if you don't know this plant, it's pretty cool. So this is, I'm sure it has an official name, but when you look at the flowers, you will see what it's called. So you have to know about this plant. You have to move the leaves aside because hiding under the leaves are the flowers, and this one's gonna prove me wrong. Just watch it. Just you watch and see. Yeah, I don't see any flowers on this one. See what I mean? It's gonna prove me wrong. Okay, we're gonna find another one. Libet's using her camouflage. A little bit. LB. I believe that is the wild ginger. And I almost thought it was one of those that I was trying to show you. Now that I'm trying to show you, I can't find them, but they were all around. I don't know if I climbed too high because I'm not seeing any more at this point. The pink lady slipper has a very specific ecosystem that it likes to bloom in. It has to be in the area that has mycorrhizal fungi in the soil. And typically that happens under pine trees and things. We don't really have a lot of pine trees though. We have a lot of hickory. I can't remember all the ones we have. My husband knows the trees better. I know we have hickory, sassafras, blueberry. We have tons of blueberry bushes that are wild. And so the blueberries and the wild azaleas, they I want to say they're in the same family. They certainly favor the same type of soil. Oh my goodness, I almost hiked up to the ridge. Didn't know I had hiked that far. Wow. Okay, so if you see behind me, it flattens out back there, and that is the top of the ridge. So that is the top of our property, and it's quite a hike, especially when you go through the woods. We do have a path that's kind of chomped down. But do you think I took that path? No, I didn't. I went straight to the forest on my quest for flowers and such. Okay, well, I might have come too high. When I came up here, I started seeing the wild blueberries, and our property is covered with wild blueberries and wild huckleberries, and they are so fun to pick. I will say that when we excavated the property, and then we got a lot of these trees out from where we have the house and the greenhouse and different places, then the little bitty bushes suddenly got sunshine and they started to thrive and make berries. Here in the woods, they're little bitty trees that they'll never make berries. And so that's just how it is. Okay, I saw a few more of the flame azaleas, but they were very tiny. Very tiny. I feel like Robinson Crusoe. Okay, and I'm gonna try to show you this plant I was trying to show you earlier and see if I can do it without being embarrassed this time. Sorry, my camera looks like I'm a drunken person, but I'm not. What we are looking at here, I'm hoping will be in bloom, and I need to think that we tend to be about 2 weeks later than the other areas around where we usually go to look for wildflowers, so that could be why. So this plant, if you zoom in, these are the flowers. They're hard to see. They look like little pictures. And here's another one. And so these are barely coming out, and once they get a little bigger, they'll be a lot cuter. And I'll just have to tell you, they're called the little brown jug. They're slightly fuzzy, and there's one hiding behind. It's just fun when you know what it is. You see the leaves and you'd never know that there was like a flower down there. So you have to look for this type of leaf, and it is in the early spring. Sometimes the leaves are more red. I'll show you another example of that. How about these? This is the whole collection. And they're small, more pinkish, but at least there's a lot of them. They will open up, and it kind of looks like, sort of looks like people singing too, besides looking like a little brown jug. It's making you dizzy. It's because my camera doesn't want to focus just yet. Yeah, that, my friend, is the little brown jug. And this, my friend, is one tired lady. I'm so hot. It is burning up out here. It must be close to 80, and here I am, breaking out in a sweat. So now my job is to try to get down the hill without rolling over on my head, because way down there is where I have to go. Or I could cross over, because I'm about level with the greenhouse. You could go that way. Just more hiking. I don't think I'm gonna go that way today because there's no flowers to see over there as far as I know. I think it just might be more work. You can hear the birdies singing away. Whew. One of these days I'll take you up to the very top of the ridge, and we'll see what we can see up there, but today I've kind of need to get back down. Before we go, I just thought I would state the obvious, and that is that ridge up there and the ridge that goes all around our property as far as the eye can see in both directions is why we call it Ridge Haven. Our house is tucked away really between two ridges. Our ridge goes up to the top, goes back down over into another county, and then down at our road, that comes up and forms another ridge. So we kind of are 2/3 of the way down of of one side of the V, and then it goes up on the other side. So we're in the ridge. It makes a nice natural protection against tornadoes, although not 100%. There's never 100% protection. It's just the mountains do block a little bit of the wind some days. I have in my arsenal of ideas the knowledge that I will be going down the other side of the mountain to see what I can see. So, yes, this bear will go over the mountain probably tomorrow because I have to head into town today. Not going to make it over there today, and I really expect there's going to be a lot of surprises over there. Down the other side, it's a lot of fun. We'll see 3, 4, 5 pink lady slippers together in little clumps, and it's just so fun to do. But I wanted to come back here because I had seen those couple last week, and I knew that they were going to be almost ready. So it's so strange. There's only a few places along here that seem to have the pink lady slippers, but all around this other part of the hill, I don't see them much. Probably wonder why I keep chopping my head off. It's because I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And I'm on the rocky road now. It's so rocky, completely rock around me. There may be some over there. Maybe. You just never know what you're going to find in the woods. And if you don't go, you're going to miss it. It won't be there. Like another week, it'll be gone. And you'll never have known that it was there. There is so much of this property that I need to explore. Time, ambition, and those are the two things, time and ambition, are what keeps me back. I don't know if you can tell behind me, there's a giant patch of rhododendron, and they usually bloom white flowers, sometimes pale pink in this area. I'm so glad that I came out into the forest today, and I'm glad that you came with me. This is my stress relief remedy. Here's another little treasure. Humboldt's violet, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going from my memory. Okay, back into the sunshine as if I needed more fuel to the fire. I think my ears are burning. And it's not because somebody's talking about me. I'll tell you the secret for finding pink lady slippers. I rarely ever find them in the sunshine. It's always in the shade. So I really don't care if you prove me wrong. I could very well be wrong, but I've only ever seen them in the shade. So that is one little hint. Under the trees. Here behind me is our herb garden starting to come alive. I have thyme there creeping over the edges. St. John's chamomile. There's, what is that? Columbine that is going to be really gorgeous when it opens up. It's like yellow and purple. And I have a huge clump of oregano here, and then some thyme that's actually blooming over there. And I did spend some time yesterday. Didn't have a lot of time, but I thought, well, you know what? Let's do what we can. I spent some time weeding this flower bed out, so that's a good thing. I have some echinacea. This is the white echinacea, and I have this succulent plant that's going everywhere. This will have some yellow flowers pretty soon, and this was a good ground cover to fill in the rocks. You just have to keep it in control. Another pink echinacea, daylilies, going to come out soon. And I have a nice healthy plant of anise hyssop, and if I didn't have to go soon, I would make me some sweet tea with that because I'm feeling the need to have myself cooled down. A big sage that's about to bloom, and Spanish lavender I showed you on the last video. It's actually coming more into bloom. I have no idea what you can see because I'm looking into the glare of the camera. Okay, listen guys. I gave in to temptation. I do not have time to go down that other hill searching for flowers, but I think I might have time to look at one location where I know there's always a flower. I decided that, but my goodness, there's so many blackberry bushes here that I have to fight through. Stuck in the briar patch. Ouch. Okay, this is not gonna be fun, not at all. Do I want to do this or not? I do, but I don't. These things have really gotten out of hand. They did not used to be like this. We could just walk through here not too long ago, like last year. I think these are the kind of things like mint. They sleep, they creep, they leap. I'll check back and see if I can get through this jungle. Oh, all I can tell you is it better be worth it because I really had to fight the jungle. Have you heard that song? It says, I fought the law and the law won. I think I fought the jungle and the jungle won. Hoo-wee. I think I'm almost there. I don't know for sure. These guys hide in the woods and they're not always predictable. Usually there's one right around here that I stumble upon. And this may be the year that it fools me. And it's not there. Probably is. Since I had to brave all that. I don't see any sign of it at all. I'm not giving up. Not giving up. I'm still hot. There's a pretty patch of irises. That's worth looking at. Nah, making me mad now because I can't find it. Oh, here's one down here. So this is one that I usually remember. It's not the very one I came to see. Sorry about the close-up. Oh well, now that we're here, we're gonna go look at it because we did all this tromping through the woods. Okay, going down the hill, we have one right here. Can you see it right here? This one hasn't even completely darkened up yet. So was it worth it? I don't know. We're gonna have to come back again. But there's an easier way. Going down there by our driveway, which is down there, is gonna be the easier way. But I know that there's one back there. It hides under the trees and it's really close to the septic tank if you wanna know the truth. I have found it in years past every single year. Whew, I feel like I'm cooking, like really cooking. If I go up, I'm gonna have to fight those briars, so I'm not going up this time. I'm coming up again when I have a clipper. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm going to slide down this hill at a controlled pace, down by the water. Here we have a wet weather creek down here where I am. Big leaf magnolia, it grows by the water. They don't get too big on our property because we don't have water most of the time. We've got a little bitty rainwater waterfall coming down the hill, but it'll dry up real fast. Whew. You won't tell anybody if I take a break, will you? I'm plumb tuckered out. I'm gonna make a deal with you. I'm gonna walk on this hillside until I see the first lady slipper and then I'm turning around. Okay? I'm not gonna get caught up in this lady slipper craze. But this is so strange. This is the greenbrier. And this is, it turns into a very pokey thorn. This one's very pokey, but when you catch it like this, it's so tender, you can snap it off and you can eat it, and it's like lemony, like sorrel, sour grass. It's pretty good. I probably wouldn't eat too much, it might give you a stomachache, but it's, you know, if you're in the forest, only in the early spring, otherwise you're gonna get thistles in your mouth. I really thought I'd just come over here and see one and check it off my list. It didn't happen. You know, it's been going through my mind, you have got to be kidding me. I'm like, come on, I know I've seen them in the past. I hiked way down here. I can see the road now from where I am. And I said the first one, and as soon as I saw the first one, I saw two clumps, and they're right within sight of each other. You're way down here. My goodness, I have a bad memory. Or else the ones back there have let me down this year, because I've hiked forever. Okay, here's one little clump that we can see, and it's not ready to come out yet. Can you see it? It's a trio. And this one has something fun. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what else this has is the seed pod from last year. The flower comes up, and there's two. The flower comes up, it makes the flower, and then the flower produces the seed. And they don't always stay. I don't know, I think mice come and eat them. There's no seeds in either one of them. They're cleared out. Okay, so we have the trio. Hallelujah, hallelujah. They look like they're singing the hallelujah chorus. Not quite yet, but they will. And here's a close-up of that doohickey, the seed head pod. We are in the forest, but my goodness, I feel like my face is the color of my shirt. On this camera, it looks like it. If it looks like that, probably because it is. I need to go get some water. But 15 feet away is another clump. We're looking at that while we're here. If you ever feel overheated and disoriented and dizzy in the woods, you might be suffering from heat stroke. Every Pathfinder knows you need to rest, get hydrated, and sit in the shade. Every Pathfinder doesn't always follow those directions. Over here is a clump. This is the finest clump in the forest, at least the finest clump I've seen so far. Let's move the sticks away and get a good look. Because this is a nice clump of ladies' slippers, don't you say? It was worth it to come down here. I see with my little eye. Spy with my little eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this clump. And you know, that means we're gonna have to come down when they're actually blooming, because who really wants to look at green lady slippers? Adam thinks I got lost in the woods, and I practically did, because I got a phone call and it took me like 20 minutes to resolve that little issue. And so I sat down and got rested up, and in the meantime I've seen so many pink lady slipper clumps around me, all around, and you're just gonna have to trust me that they're out here, because I'm not gonna show you every one yet. Here's the thing, all of them on this hill are not pink yet. They're just green, and so I will come down here when they are in bloom, and we'll see them and we'll all enjoy them together. There's a bunch. I'd say there's, in my line of vision, there's probably 20 around me, maybe more. So I'm gonna make my way down, back up actually, And this will be a to be continued because on this hill, slow to bloom. I'll just tell you, it was the insurance calling, and there was a glitch in our car insurance. And they caught me hot. And I will have to say they probably found out I was a little bit grouchy because if I'm hot, I'm grouchy. Anyway, I think we got that resolved. There's some right here. They're definitely out here in the forest. Thanks for coming along. You stay cool. I'm going to try to do the same. Signing off from Ridgehaven Homestead. Made it to the trail, so it's a little easier, slightly. These are so pretty. I love these. We have light ones and we have dark ones. This one's a dark one. House is up there. Just one more hill to climb. I made it back. Got my water. And yes, my face does look a little bit red still. Look at my neck. Look at my face. My flower is a little bit wilted. And so am I. But I made it. Day is dying in the west. Looks like we have a beautiful sunset behind us, behind me. I may not look like it, but I came back from that little walk, that long walk, got myself hydrated, had to do practically a whole container of liquid IV and a lot of water and a good shower. And I feel like $1,000,000 now, even though I'm in comfy clothing. Just ready to kick back, but I did want to walk up the hill to catch the sky because it's beautiful. Good evening from Ridgehaven Homestead. Enjoy the view. I hope you get a little bit of a sunset view at your neck of the woods, your homestead, your farm, your little slice of heaven on earth.